Hello fellow cinephiles, 90s Film Guru here. Thanks for joining me today. So today I'll be looking at the Oscars that are coming up in March and looking at the nominees and the ones I want to win or the ones I think will win and going through the main awards. I think it's a very interesting year for the Oscars, as there's a lot of interesting nominated films that are sort of more independent and smaller films than we got in previous years, which is kind of interesting. It feels like the independents are really taking things back. So I think that's kind of really interesting, and I look forward to the Oscars and seeing ultimately, who's going to win this year. Alright, so first go up the rank is Best Adapted Screenplay. You've got interesting choices here. You've got Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys and Sing Sing. All really interesting films. I haven't seen Sing Sing or Nickel Boys, but I've seen the others, and I really love what they've done with it. And I think that Complete Unknown is really wonderful and really capturing Bob Dylan and the sort of life he lived in this particular period that the screenplay is based upon, and I think that's really cool. But as we've seen, Emilia Perez is really good. I haven't seen Nickel Boys, like I said, or Sing Sing, but I'm going to go for Conclave. I think Conclave was a really wonderfully written film that was very simple and subtle in its what it was talking about, and the subtext, and there's a lot of depth and things happening in that film that were really clever and interesting. And I just think that's the one that's going to win. I would love to see a Complete Unknown win, but I think that's the one that's going to win. Original Screenplay. Yet again, we have some interesting nominations here for this particular category. It's kind of a difficult one to choose, this one, as they're all really great sort of original screenplays. September 5 I haven't seen, so I'm not really familiar with that, but the other ones definitely. I think in the end, this will either go down between Anora and The Brutalist. I would love to see Substance win. Coralie Farge is fantastic director, and she's really crafted a really wonderful, original, unique script, and I would love to see this win. This would be the one I would pick, but I think it will probably go to The Brutalist or Anora. I'm going to go with Substance, bugger it. I'm going to go with Substance. That's who I think is going to win, and his real competition is going to be The Brutalist. So next up off the rank is Best Cinematography. Now, there's some great nominees in this category as well, and there's been some really wonderfully shot and crafted films throughout the year. I think The Brutalist is really well shot and interesting. I don't know if it's the most spectacular cinematography I've ever seen, but it's really solid for the story that Brady Corbet is telling, and I kind of like what he does with it. For me, the two that go up against each other would be Dune Part 2 and Nosferatu. Dune Part 2, of course, exquisite sets and out in the desert, and what they were able to craft with this film and the way it looks is beautiful. And I think this one has a good chance of winning just because of how beautifully it's shot. But my pick is going to be Nosferatu. I just think that's wonderfully done. Robert Eggers and his cinematographer, the way they sort of framed each shot and what happened in those shots and the way they move the camera and what we see and what we don't see. I just think it's just wonderfully shot, and that to me is the one I think is going to win. So now I'm going to look at the director category. Now, once again, some wonderful nominees here. Got Sean Baker for Anora, which I thought Anora was fine. It wasn't great, but I liked aspects of it. I'm not a huge Sean Baker fan, but I thought it was a well enough crafted film. Brady Corbet with The Brutalist. I thought The Brutalist was really well done and absolutely mesmerizing. And for a film that has a less than $10 million budget, he was able to craft such an interesting story, not only in length, but he was also able to still tell such a great and grand story with a minimal amount of money in an effective way. And I think he does a brilliant job with that film. And he's definitely up there as one of the ones that could win this category. Got James Mangold as well from Complete Unknown. I thought Complete Unknown was fantastic and reminded me of Walk the Line. It sort of flowed in an interesting way rather than most biography films where it picks particular moments and things to hit and it just feels fake, where this sort of flowed in a great way. And the way he captured the performances and what he did with the film, I think it's definitely high up on the list of the ones who could win. Jacques Saudade, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but for Emilia Perez, look, that's a fairly solid film, has some great moments in the musical numbers, fantastic, like I said in my review, but I just don't see it pulling it off this year. And of course, Coralie Farge. I want The Substance to win so badly. I want her to win Best Director. I think she does a fantastic job and is really interesting, creative. The only thing that would stop her from maybe winning is just the extremeness that she does go to, which I personally love, but you can see how critics and the judges would maybe frown upon that, but I want to see it win. I think the main ones are going to be The Brutalist and A Complete Unknown. If The Substance doesn't win, I'm going for Complete Unknown. Best Actor. These are some great performances this year that I've really thoroughly enjoyed, and some ones that stand out a little more than others, but all the nominees are really great. Adrien Brody for The Brutalist does a fantastic job, best role he's had in a long time, and he really delivers in this role. Timothée Chalamet for Complete Unknown, playing Bob Dylan. He's fantastic. He slips into that role, is very immersive, the way he speaks and acts. I just felt like he was the perfect choice to play Bob Dylan, and he really is fantastic in this role, and he is definitely up there as one who has a good chance of winning. Colman Domingo is a really great actor. I haven't seen Sing Sing, but from like Madness and other things I've seen, he's a really great actor, and I'm glad he's nominated. Ralph Fiennes is really great in Conclave, in a very subtle and simple role, in a role that we don't sort of usually see him play, but he does it brilliantly, so he's a good choice as well. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. I'm not a Sebastian Stan fan. I don't really care for much for him except for Winter Soldier. I'm sure he's fine in that movie. I haven't seen it. I probably won't, so it's just not high on my list. To me, it's going to be between Adrien Brody and Timothée Chalamet. One of those two are going to carry the Oscar this year because they just give really great and immersive and fantastic performances, and they really become those roles. And I love what they sort of able to do with that. And they are able to shine in the roles that they are playing, and they're definitely high on the list. I personally would like to see Timothée Chalamet win, but who knows. Best Actress. Demi Moore for The Substance. This is who I want to win. She's my choice. I think she did a fantastic job in that movie and really was wonderfully refreshing and interesting, unique, and a very daring role in a lot of ways. And she just took it on, and she did it and performed it beautifully, and just really captured something really special on screen. I want to see her win. Best Supporting Actor. Some like the Best Actor. There's some great nominees here. Yuri Borzov for Anora. Yeah, he does solid in the film. He's definitely a character who's really good, and it's the only character in the film that really cares for Anora and wants to help her. And I think his performance is solid. Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, wonderful. Just an actor who knows what he's doing. He understood the character and what he needed to do with it, and he added so much of himself and crafted a really interesting and fascinating character that was engaging, tragically sad, but really powerful, and I love his performance in that film. Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. He completely immersed himself as Pete Seeger and brought such a uniqueness and played a character, a real person, that he hadn't really done before, and playing a character that's so far removed from all the other roles he's had, where he's much more in control or a standout. Here he's able to play Pete Seeger and hold it back and give such a great performance. He's just really internal, but he conveys so much and is really wonderful in the movie. Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, probably one of the most disturbingly uncomfortable characters he's ever played, but he has a knack for that. Lawless was another film where he played a really questionable and kind of messed up character, and Harrison in The Brutalist is definitely that. He's just, the way he treats people is horrendous, and it's just a sort of shocking performance, but so great. He immersed himself in it, and you really believe he is this man. And Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Look, like I said, I don't think I'll see The Apprentice. Jeremy Strong's a really solid actor, and I like his performances, but I just don't see him winning this year in this particular category. I really think it's going to come down to Kieran Culkin and Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce is a terrifying character in The Brutalist, but he's so convincing and so fascinating to watch, and it's so engaging in so many ways. And Kieran Culkin, like I said, is wonderful. My choice is Kieran Culkin for Real Pain. Just the most sort of nuanced, wonderfully simple performance that is just so effective and heartbreaking, and he just brings such a wonderful quality to the character he's playing. Best Supporting Actress. Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. She plays Joan Baez in the film, and she's wonderful, does her own singing. She's kind of got this cool toughness about her as an actress, and I really love to see her career slowly grow with the choices she's made, and obviously appearing in Top Gun Maverick made people take notice for a lot more, but she's really wonderful here and portrays Joan Baez as sort of a cool, complicated, but very interesting character, and I think she does a wonderful job in the film. I was really blown away by her, and I'd like to see what she does next. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. What a wonderful performance. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. Very interesting performance. Pretty much doesn't say anything the whole movie, but then she has this one pivotal scene, this one pivotal moment that's really powerful and says so much, where no one really wants to say the truth. They're sort of dancing around it in this particular scene, and she puts her foot down, she tells it as it is. And this little performance, just this little sequence, is definitely worth seeing her nominated, and she does really wonderfully in that film. And Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Wonderful performance. I really feel she should have been the lead or nominated for the lead, and I guess they didn't do that because of the other choices they had. But I just feel she's the main focus of that film. Yes, it is about Emilia Perez, like the movie's title says, but it's really about Zoe's character putting it all together and holding everything together. And we see her the most out of everybody in the film, and I just feel she should be nominated. But it's good to see her nominated. This is a hard category. Felicity Jones has a really good chance, so does Isabella Rossellini for their simple but effective performance. But I really want to see Zoe Saldana win for Emilia Perez. I think she's wonderful in the film. Seeing her dance, the way she handles the dance and the singing and the acting and the drama and everything about that film, I think she's wonderful, and I really want to see her win. Now, up to the last award usually of the night in regards to the Oscars, Best Picture. So many great films to choose from, and it's really going to be a difficult choice for a lot of people to see who's going to win this year. We've got Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here. So I was wrong, that movie is nominated besides Best Supporting Actress, so that's kind of interesting. As well as Lead Actress. Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Out of all these nominees, there's only 2 films I haven't seen, I'm Still Here and Nickel Boys. I don't know when we'll get Nickel Boys, if we get it at all. It sounded very interesting, I want to see it. I think it's interesting it's been nominated, a much simpler, smaller film. I guess the biggest film on this list for Best Picture is Dune Part 2. So that's the only real sort of big blockbustery, big film to be nominated as Best Picture this year. So I was wrong, but most of the nominees are first timers or from an independent sort of based film, where that sort of is a part of a franchise and is a much bigger film than the rest of them, but it's good to see it nominated. I'm glad Denis got something anyway. For me, it's going to come down to The Brutalist and A Complete Unknown. I would absolutely love to see The Substance win. That is my hope. That's my choice. That is a film I hope wins, because I really love that movie so much, and I want to see it sort of take off, and it's definitely going to be a film that much more people are going to see now because of that. But that's the pick I would love to see win. I just don't think it will. So I think it really comes down to The Brutalist and A Complete Unknown. Dune has a kind of a look in there. It's still a wonderful and extraordinary film that Denis created there, but it's just something about The Brutalist and The Complete Unknown. It's really hard for me. I would love to see, besides The Substance, of course, Complete Unknown win, because I absolutely love that film and I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan, so I have a different perspective on that. Anyway, there are my choices for who's going to win, or who I think should win, or who I would love to win. Write in the comments below what your choices may be for these particular nominees. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe down the bottom. Follow my letterbox on Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.